Welcome to Mount Zion. I'm next to the tomb of King David, and we are going to enter there today. It's wartime. It's a month after the brutal invention of the terrorists into the villages next to Gaza Strip, to the Israelis' villages. And after they killed more than 1,300 innocent Christian, Jews, Muslims, infants, women, old people, and kidnapped 400 of them. I'm here sitting next to the tomb of King David, trying to behave like nothing happened, but actually everything happened. No tourists anymore. No one dared to come to Israel now. And it's good for you because you can actually see the place without tourists. It's less crowded, less noisy. You can see the local people here, which is good. But for me, it's not so good because beside the idea that we are now in a war and I don't know how long it's going to take. No one will visit Israel for the next year. Then I've got no work. Gladly, happily, I'm a YouTuber, then I'm sure that you actually already visit my channel and subscribe it. Then what you can see here, except of me, there are only Orthodox Jews who are coming to visit King David. King David is very important for Jews, Christians, and Muslims. For Jews, he is the king who join all those 12 tribes into one state of Israel, and he is the one who occupied Jerusalem from the Canaanite and turned it into the capital of Israel. Then the capital of Israel, dear guys, is from 3,000 years ago, not from 1948. Just want you to understand that. Million years before the first Muslim, for Muhammad. Then in that case, Israel became to be the capital of Israel. All the kings lived here. The only problem is that we are not sure where King David was buried. But before that, he became very important because of Jerusalem, because of the state of Israel, and because the Messiah will come from his dynasty. And that's what the Christians are saying. Jesus is from the dynasty of King David, and he is the Messiah. Then in that case, for the Christians, King David is very important as well. For the Muslims, I must say something about Islam. Islam is a new religion, only from the 7th century. But they turned all the Jewish kings and prophets into Islam. Then King David wasn't a king according to them, he was a prophet. One of so many prophets before Muhammad. Dear Christians, I don't know if you know, but Jesus is a Muslim prophet according to the Muslims. A very important one, mentioned in the Quran many times, and it doesn't matter if he lived 600 years before Muhammad, but for them he is a prophet. Then in that case, King David was a Muslim prophet, and that's why the tomb of David is very important for the Muslims too. Then in that case, for so many years, the tomb of King David was here. Above it is the room of the Last Supper. And at around the 15th, 16th century, the Muslims turned it into a mosque. Why? Because King David was, according to them, a Muslim prophet. And Isa, Jesus, wasn't Christian, was a son of God. He was another prophet of Islam. Then in that case, until 1948, it was a mosque. Then there is a minaret somewhere here, and In 1948, Israel turned it back into a synagogue, and still the dilemma or enigma is about the room, the Last Supper. What is going to be? Is it going to be in the hands of the Christians, which I suppose I am for it, or is it stay in the Israeli hands? Why? Remember that they turned it into a mosque, the Muslims? But before that, the Jews and the Christians actually argue about who is going to own that building, and then they went to the Muslims, and the Muslims turned it into a mosque. Then in that case, I don't know what going to be the future of the room, the Last Supper. Sadly, because of the war, it's closed, and I wanted to take another video of you there without any tourists, but it's closed, and I cannot. The tomb of King David is another enigma. Jews are not supposed to worship tombs. They're supposed to worship God himself. No statues, no images. That is why this is one of the reasons why Jews cannot accept Jesus. You cannot worship a human being. You cannot worship statues, images. Then in that case, we don't know where is the tomb of King David. The place that we are going to visit used to be a room of one big church from the 4th century that dedicated to King David. And you know what was the day of King David? 25th of December. And that was true until the 6th century. And then we know Christmas, and they moved the day of King David. Then in that case, it was, I think, part of the church. I didn't look, I didn't see even the beautiful cat. Well, I'm not going there yet, because it's a synagogue and people are praying there, and I'm not sure that I will be able to talk there. Then I believe that the room of the tomb of King David became very famous because of the Christians. The last one who knew where King David was buried, at least the one that we know, was King Herod. He wanted to rob it, but he couldn't. He mentioned everything, but he didn't mention the location. Then King David, if you visit with me, you know that there is a city of David outside the walls, and they looked for the tomb there as well. He was a king of Hebron for 7 years. It can be in Hebron, not the city. And then enigma, we don't know. The tomb of today will divide it into 2, women and men departments. Men are not, Orthodox men are not praying together with women. The idea is to be concentrate with the prayer and not to look at the women. Then in that case, we will go into the men's department. We will have to wear the yarmulke. The Jews are wearing yarmulke because they're praying straight to God. And then for the Christians, it looks like it's the opposite thing. When you enter a church, you're taking your hat off. But when you are praying, especially the Catholic and the Greek Orthodox, in a church, the priest will have a hat. Then it's more or less the same idea, to divide ourselves from God. The first part of the room is a synagogue. You will see there. You might see that people are praying there. These are the bells of the Dormition Church. It means that it's 12 o'clock now. And the inner part will be the tomb. It's where, as you can understand, women will have half of it, men will have half of it. Now let's try to enter. I'm doing it slowly because for the last few days I have my back is hurt. I was lying in the bed for 3 days. I think the stress of the war is affecting me. Add to it that I decided to be a farmer for a few days to help the Israeli farmers next to the border of Gaza. Then I'm walking like a frog. If you didn't subscribe my channel, please do that now. And if you want to help me, if you want to support me, then you can have you do have three options. Right there, it's you see it looks like a heart. It's super thanks next to the like button. This is via YouTube. The other at the description, at the information of the video, beneath the video, you will find two links of Buy Me a Coffee and PayPal. You can do that through there too. Thank you for doing it. But we are heading to there. And I will have to put yarmulke. I think I'm the only not religious Jew who will enter now to the tomb. As you can remember, we have divided ourselves from man to women department. The yarmulke area is right here. Let me put it on my head. And remember the first part of the synagogue. These are the songs that King David wrote. A little bit crowded there. I wanted to read the prayer in Hebrew, but I don't want to disturb those people, and I will show it to you.
אליך ושלחתי מרחם, מבית עיני אלי הדעת, דרך הגרל קצרה גרועה. כן, בצעו עלי פיהם, הרי תואב ושואק, המים משפחתי, כל עצמות
It's actually started with Father in Heaven, just like the Lord's Prayer.
אז זה קבורה יהודית.
פייר.
Let's go outside. Remember in Uzza with the scroll, we saw him kissing it. A lot of the Jews are doing it, but let me end with something special. Don't go. Then, if you are still here, you are, I think, the bravest one, because now it's the real thing. We know this is Mount Zion. Usually the question, how do I know that the room of the Last Supper was here? How do I know that the tomb of King David was here? First of all, I don't know. But I can show you one thing. Let me see, because my back is hurt. Now I'm not going like a frog, I'm going like a worm. I feel like an old man. We don't know if the room of the supper was here, which is right here, sadly it's closed. We don't know, mainly because the Bible never mentioned it was at Mount Zion, but the Bible mentioned that when the disciples came to you there to do prepare the Passover inside the city, because this is the God's law. Then they went to someone who's carry water. They followed someone who's carry a man that carry water. Women usually carry water. only the Isis, the saints, didn't do that. Then in that case, we know that they lived here. But one thing that I can talk about and show you, and might be a clue for that enigma, is those stones. Look at those stones. Look how big they are. Those stones are from the 1st century. Now, when the Christians built that area, they used small stones. Easy to carry, easy to deal with it. But here, someone brought stones, and some scholars believe that it's actually from the Western Wall to here. We know that at the 1st century, the Christian community tried to build something special. And maybe, those are the stones for the room, the Last Supper. Remember, everything been destroyed. The room, the Last Supper, the tomb of King David is only from the 15th century. Then maybe this is the real occasion. But again, I don't know. Then thank you for being with me in those 16 amazing moments. And you can see here the minaret of the mosque that used to be here for so many years. See you in my next video, and don't forget to subscribe my channel. I'm reaching 150,000 habitats. Please be part of my family. I need you. This is the only thing that's left for me to do, to see your comments, to see the numbers. This is, I mean, I have nothing else to do. Thank you very much, and stand with Israel.